Yeah, we can see the polls now.
Okay. So guys, if you are able to see your polls, just poll on that. And we will wait for 2 to 3 minutes on that poll so that we can get more number of attendees till that time to join so that they don't miss the session. So those who haven't provided the your feedback, I would really urge you to please do on that poll. So it would be beneficial for each and everyone so that we can do this series as best as possible for you. So those guys who are joining on yet, so I would urge you to please do poll on that first, and then we can start the session after the session. Okay, I think we are good. So as I can see, many of us are fresher, and so Ankush, can you please let us brief about the first session? As I can see on the post that there are various attendees who haven't got a
Mhm.
chance to join our first session. So can you please do some kind of a little bit brief about the first session which we have done?
Sure, can. Okay, so in first session, we just discuss about like what is flow and different type of flows, what are different type of flows. So what we have done is we have differentiated the series into four sessions. So for each session we'll do the hands-on for different type of flows. So in last session we have gone through the hands-on session live demo with the screen flow, where we created one sample screen to get the details of account and contact on a single page. And then we handled the error, we have done the error handling as well. And after that we have given an assignment for attendees. So today we'll just go with that assignment. So in that assignment also means we'll just give you the walkthrough, the solution of that assignment. So you will get an idea of like what is screen flow and how it works.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ankush, for giving us the brief about our first session, which we have done. So I can see many of the attendees are new and they haven't registered on the org means. So just a minute. I'm sharing my screen so that everybody can be aware about the rules which we are using for this series.
Vishal, I think you are on mute.
Yes, Ankush, I am start sharing my screen. Just a minute.
Okay.
So Ankush, please confirm me if you are able to see my screen. Yeah, Ankush, can you
Yeah,
please confirm me?
it's visible now.
So guys, we are doing a hands-on workshop series. Rules for winning Salesforce certification voucher is that you need to sign up and create new account on Salesforce and need to share the credentials with us on that Google form by and we are going to share the Google form details with you soon. So as those who have attended our previous session, they don't need to send their details as we have already their details. So those are the new joinings, those are the new attendees. They need to send the details so that we are able to verify their assignment after they are able to complete their assignment. So we can do check and we can give you a point on the basis of your assignment completion, and those who score more highest points at the end of the series, we are going to announce two winners on the basis of that. So if you are not able to attend our first session, then don't worry about that. If you score more points and are able to secure a highest number of points in between two, then you are able to get a Salesforce certification voucher. So don't worry about that. And we need each and everyone's support so that our initiative can reach out to as maximum number of people. So we have the rules for supporters as well. So I would request you to please go to the document. I am sharing the link in the chat window. This is from my side, and now I'm going to give the stage to Ankush.
Okay, thanks, Vishal. So let me share my screen. Okay, so hello all. I'm Ankush Agarwal. I am a senior Salesforce developer, and I am active on Answers community where I try to help people. So you may connect with me either on LinkedIn or Twitter, or you may follow me on the Trailblazer profile as well. So that's all about me. So today's agenda is to we'll discuss about Salesforce flows. So first of all, we'll go through the demo of assignment in the last session. So I'll share the solution of that assignment. Then after that, we'll go with the record trigger flow, like what is record trigger flow and how it works. Then we'll give a demo for a before save flow and after save flow. And there is one more type, which is record trigger flow for delete before deleting the records. So I'll just give you a brief about that, but it's quite similar to this after save flow. And then we'll talk about the assignment two for this, which is related to record trigger flow. And then we'll just share the top performer of assignment one. So we'll just show you like top five performers of assignment one, and which will be having lead. But if you haven't joined the last session and if you want to participate in the assignment, then you may join this with the assignment two. And because we'll be accumulating all the assignments, and after four assignments we'll just declare the results. So there may be possibility that you may start from this session, and if you follow till the end, you may be having the highest marks, and you will be the winner of the certification voucher. So you may participate from today's session as well. And at the end, we'll just go with the Q&A session. Okay, so the next is demo of assignment one. So this was the screen flow which we just asked you guys to work on it. So first of all, it was having customer details, then vehicle details, then transaction details. So if you remember, we have shared. Okay, just let me open the session for you. Okay, so yep. So this is a screen flow. So whenever we create any flow, it will just ask us to like which type of flow you want to create. So this one is a screen flow. Just wanted to confirm, Vishal, is my screen visible?
Yes, Ankush, I can see your screen.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so this one is the solution for the screen flow, which we just asked you in the last session. So first of all, we have to add this element, which is screen. So if I double click on it, we have like, as in the last session, I have mentioned there is a section called beta. So particular this section is having like the feature where we can distribute this particular screen into different columns. So what I did, I used this section element, and I just divided into three parts. So first one is like customer details, where we'll just store the customer details. Then the second is vehicle detail, like what is the type, whether it's a two-wheeler, four-wheeler, or and what type of fuel is used in that particular vehicle. And then the transaction details. Okay, so in last session we haven't covered this lookup. So actually some of the attendees also found this difficulty in attaching this lookup. So if you go with means for this lookup specifically, you have to just take care about few of the points. So just like first we need to define the object, on which object this lookup field exists. So because we'll be storing these details on the transaction object. So first we have to define the transaction object API name here. So what you have to do, you just have to go to your object manager and see like what is the API name of that particular object, and then API name has to be mentioned here. And the second important thing is this API name of that particular field. So you have to go on the field definition. So let me show you quickly. So this transaction is having API name as fs underscore transaction underscore underscore c. So that's why I used this one in object section. And then this is the lookup field, fuel. So its API name is fs underscore fuel underscore underscore c. So that's why I used here the field API name is fs fuel underscore underscore c. So these two are the important point which we need to take care while we use the lookup, and the label, what label you want on the screen when you just define it. Okay, then one small thing which I noticed, when I was evaluating the assignments. So transaction date, let's suppose transaction date, generally what happens, we are creating the transaction today. So what we can do, we can use this flow variable, which is current date. So by default, what will happen when you run this flow? So automatically today's date will be there. So most of the time today's date will be considered. So this is the way you can just define the default value. So for this also, let's suppose you define like minimum, it should be like some value like 5 liter should be there, or you defaulted it to 5 liters, so every time it will be 5 liter for you. So this way we can just define the default values as well for these components. Okay, so this is a screen which we can just we just have to drag and drop and define the uh, content what we want to get from the user. Then we have this get record. So first what we will do, we'll just validate whether the customer is exist or not. So we'll just check with the customer name whether the customer is exist. If customer exists, then we'll just store the customer ID in some temporary variable. So what I did, I just created one variable with the new customer ID. So I'm just storing that customer ID into this variable. And then if customer does not exist, then we are creating the new customer and storing its value into that same variable, new customer ID. And after that, which I noticed, and we haven't mentioned it explicitly in our requirement. So what happens, we have fuel like petrol, diesel, or CNG, anything. So what we need is, we need to fetch the details of that petrol, because we'll be using it while creating this transaction record. So here what I have done is, I have created this price per liter. So the price per liter must be from that particular fuel, and what is the price of that fuel. So, and we need to calculate this total cost. Okay, so for total cost, what I have done, I have created this new resource. So you just have to click on new resource and create one formula type of variable. So which will be having like quantity in liter multiplied by the price of that particular fuel. So we'll get the total cost of that fuel. So this was not done from many of the trailblazers, but yeah, you can do it with the formula. So you can just calculate like what is the total cost, and then the total cost can be updated here. Okay, so this is like total amount should be updated, transaction date is updated, what is the vehicle type, so everything will be there in the record. Okay, so this is all about the last session where we have requested to work on this particular screen. So there were two important things. First one is about this lookup, where you need to provide object API and field API. And the second thing was here you need to fetch the price of that particular fuel and then use it to calculate the total cost. like what will be the transaction cost for that particular record, so that you can calculate with the formulas and use it into your create record, create transaction. Okay, so that's all about it. I'm just moving to the next point or next topic. So, okay, so this one about the assignment. Now, next is today's topic, which is record triggered flow. So basically, it's an auto launch flow. So whenever we create or update or delete any record, and we want to perform some operation on the back end, so then we use record triggered flow. So it is quite similar to our Apex triggers, where we have to write the code logic, and you just have to you must be efficient in the Apex. So this is an alternate of Apex trigger, but yeah, means there are some limitations with it. So here is a link. So I'll share this link in the chat window, and you can go through all the limitations. What are all the limitations? And same thing I will explain in the next, where I will show you the live demo. Okay, so next is live demo for, okay, just a minute. Let me show you this limitations. Okay, these limitations are specifically for before save. So before save, it can perform only like, other than updating the triggers record. So it cannot update any other record. So, and slow can't update values in the record that are related to that trigger. So basically it can only update that particular record which we are just working on. And there are few of the elements which will not be which these are the only elements which will be available. So we'll see it in our demo session. So I'm just going through the demo first. Okay, so this is the requirement. I created one custom field on account object, which is a company priority. And on the contact object, I have created the one field, custom field, which is called as level. So for what we have to do is we have to create a before save flow just to update the contact level based on the account company priority. Okay, so I'm just let me show you the field just for your reference. Okay, so customer priority field, there is a pick list field which is called customer priority. And similarly on contact, we have this level field. So we just have to align these two things. So whenever we will create a okay, so whenever we will create a new contact, so it should update the level based on the accounts customer priority. So what we have to do first, we have to go to the setup, then you have to come to the flows, then you have to click on the new flow. So this screen will open, and this will have like multiple different options: screen flow, record trigger flow, schedule trigger flow, and platform event. So I'm just selecting this record trigger flow, and we have to click on next. So as I explained in the last session also, we have two type of layouts. One is auto layout, where we just need not to take care about the diagram. We just can add it on, just click on this plus button. So for now, I'm just going with this free form. Okay, so once you will come on this screen, you have like these two options and choose object. So first we'll click on this one. So there are multiple options for trigger. So when you want to trigger this flow, whether the record is created or updated or deleted. So for now, we are just selecting whether it's created or updated. Every time it should check on the account, uh, the company priority, and based on that level should be updated. Okay, then there are two types, like before the record is saved or after the record is saved. So I'm just selecting this before the record is saved, and I'm just done. So if you notice, like earlier we were having many elements over here, because we just selected this before the record is saved. So we are just left with a few of the elements like get records, loop, decision, and assignment. Only these can be used with the before the record is saved. And the best part with the before the record is saved is it doesn't have any uh, limitation, means we have governor limits. So in that particular transaction, it is not going to hit your governor limits for updating the records. So that's why it is as per the documentation, it is 10 times faster than the process builder or workflow rules or any other type of update while we update the particular same record. So since it is having some limitations, but still we can just based on our requirement, we can utilize it. Okay, so now I'm just selecting it, the object which is contact. So whenever we will be creating any contact, we just have to make sure like the level is updated based on the account. So you can add some condition here if you want. Let's suppose I just want it to be on a specific, like I just want it to be implemented only for lead which are done with the web. So I can add this condition over here, but I just don't want to use any condition. So I can just select none, or you can select these three different type of requirements, like whether you want all conditions should be matched or any of the condition, or you want to customize the logic. So for now, I'm just not adding any condition. For all the contact records, we want to perform some operation. Okay, now what I want to do is I just want to fetch the account details. So what I will do, I'll just use this get records. So get account details. Okay, account details to validate priority. Okay, and since we are fetching it from account, so we just have to select the account over here. And then we have to define the ID, like the matching criteria. So it should be ID must be equal to. So one more important thing you need to note down here is like whenever you work on this record trigger flow, so record variable will be there, which is holding the values of all the fields. And there is one more feature. This is newly added. So record prior. So if let's suppose you want to compare, earlier we can't compare the prior values, like if you want to trigger this particular flow, or if you want to compare like what was the lead source earlier, and if we edited the record and if it changed to some other value, so that we can compare with the record prior. So for now, I'm just selecting record ID, record, and then account ID. So for that contact record, account ID, if account ID is matching with this particular account record, then we'll fetch it. So there are multiple additional features are available. If you want to sort it, you can sort it, or how many records you want. For now, we are just fetching only one record. So that's why I've selected it, and automatically store all fields. So when we select it, it will just create a temporary variable for us, which we can use further to fetch the details. Okay, so I'm just done with this. Then I'll just connect it with the start. Now I just want to add a decision because I just have to take a decision based on uh, like company priority. Okay, now I'm just defining first. If you see here, record single variable. So we have account from get account details. And I just want to confirm its customer priority. So what is the customer priority? And if you see here, you will automatically get all the pick list values, whether high, low, or medium. So I just selected one of them. I'll name it as high priority. Okay, then as by default, there is only one particular criteria, and the second one is default outcome. So what we can do, we can add more conditions over here, and we can define like medium, priority, and the same like account from get account details, and customer priority, it should be medium. And we can add one more, which is low priority, and same thing we have to do, account then customer priority, and it should be low. Okay, so we have created three criteria, and we can make it as no action required. Okay, if nothing is selected out of these three, then we'll not perform any action on contact. Okay, so I'm just saving it, and I'll just connect it with the get records. Now, next point is we have to update a contact details. So update a level as primary. Okay, so on the record, we'll just search for the level. So you just make the point of it, like every time whenever we want to use the record on which we are working, so this will be $record every time. And then this is the level field which we want to update. And first of all, we'll be updating it with primary. Okay, so, and we'll connect with this one. So while connecting it, it will ask us like what outcome you want to perform this assignment operation. So I just selected high priority. So higher priority contact would be having the primary level as primary. Similarly, we'll create one more assignment, update level as secondary. So generally we try to give the label name which is self-explanatory. So generally if you come in the letter, so you need not to go and see the like what's going on here. So you can just understand it with the label itself. Then select level and make it as secondary. Okay, and we'll connect it with the medium priority. So automatically the remaining options will be available here since we have already used this high priority. So that's why we are having the medium priority next one. And the third one is update level as tertiary. So again, we select this record variable and level as tertiary. Okay, for low priority. And the last option was no action required. So that's why that we need not to make any additional operation for that one. So this is all about like we can define the decision variable, and based on that we can assign the values. And if you notice here, we are just assigning it, we are not updating anything. So by default, automatically it will be taken care by the system itself, and it will just update. So I'm giving name update contact level. Okay, and we can provide the description for the more details. And if you remember in the last session, so here we were having like how you want to run that particular flow, whether it's in the system mode or in the user mode. But here that option is not available because all these automated flow runs in the system modes. Every time these flows will be run in the system mode only. So they will not take care about whether the user is having access or not, or user is authorized to update or not. And similarly, Apex trigger also work in the system mode. So this is the similar kind of thing. So always it will run in the system mode. Okay. So I'm just saving it, and we'll just activate it. So now what we can do, we can just go onto any account. So I'm just going on one account and updating here. Okay, so customer priority is already set to low. Now what we'll do, we'll just create a new contact. Okay. Okay, and it is already attached with this account. And if we save it, okay, now if I go into the contact, so if you see the level, it's already set to tertiary. So since we have a criteria over here that for low priority, update the level as tertiary. So this tertiary is set for this particular contact. So similarly, whatever operation we want to perform, and if you want to update the same record, like for contact, if I want to update something on contact and I want to fetch it from whether it's from account, or even if you want to fetch it from opportunities, so we can achieve it here. Like, so we just have to fetch the opportunities which are related to. So for example, what I have to do, I have to just change it to opportunity, and I just have to change it to account ID. So it will just fetch all the opportunities, and based on that, we can define like what update needs to be performed on the contact. So this can be performed here with this before record is saved, and it is more 10 times faster than the other approaches which we have, like process builder or the some or workflow rules. So, and it is having more feasibility, like we can just perform the this loop operation. So let's suppose I have fetched 10 opportunities, so I can loop through all 10 opportunities, and we can just decide some based on our requirement and update that particular contact record. Okay, and another limitation with this particular specific to record trigger flow is we can't debug it. If you click on this debug, then it will just give you a message that it cannot be triggered because it will be triggered based on whenever the record will be created, edited, or deleted. So this debug or run button will not be work for this particular type of flows. So this is a limitation. So let's suppose I'll just try to run it. So it will just give me an error. The flow failed to start because the provided values were not be valid. So actually the reason behind it is a record trigger flow, and it will trigger only when we'll be creating a new record or editing it. So based on that only it will be triggered. Okay, so this is all about this before the record is saved. Now I'm going to the next one. So let me show you. So for this after save, again, I created a few custom fields. So I'll be using account over here on account object. I created the opportunity industry. Then on opportunity, I created industry field. Like if one account is having multiple industries and they are dealing with us, we are having multiple opportunities in their different industries, and we want to see like for all the closed won opportunities, we want to see what are all industries on the account level itself. I want to see it. So then I need after save flow. So whenever I will update industry on the opportunity, it should be aligned with the opportunity industry account level. So I just show you one example. So if I go to opportunity, okay, yeah. And if I go on to this, so this account is having 4 opportunities and all are in closed won. Okay, so if I go on to the detail of this account, and if I see upon opportunity industries, so all 4 industries will come here with the comma, but I'll be using a space here. So our target is to update the opportunity industry with all the industries which are aligned with the, it's only with the opportunities which are in the closed won stage. Okay, so we'll create again a new flow. Just go to the setup, type flow here, select it, and go to the new flow. Okay, and then in record trigger flow, again, we'll select the same one. But this time, the difference will be, we'll just go here, select this again, created or updated, and this after the record is saved. So the reason behind selecting this after the record is saved is we'll be creating this particular record trigger flow on opportunity object. Okay, and we are selecting here the stage. We'll be only considering this particular trigger when the stage is equals to closed won. And here there are 2 conditions when to run the flow for the updated records. Every time a record is updated, or only when this particular update happens and specific to this stage name is changed. So I'm selecting this only specific, like let's suppose I have updated something on opportunity, but not stage name. But what my requirement is, this particular trigger should be run only when the stage is converted to closed won. So that's why I'm using this second condition. This is, I think, newly introduced feature. Earlier, this feature was not available. So in this release, they have added this feature. Okay, and you can see here the difference. Last time we were having only get records. Now we have create records, update records, delete records. or even we can perform some action as well. Okay, and this is a new button which is just introduced in this Spring 21 release. So here, if you click on this, you can create a new path, scheduled path. So what happens, like they have provided one example, run one day after case is created. So, or we can add one more, like this run immediately. So we want to perform some immediate action, we can do it by default, it will run immediately. But if we want to add some feature over here, like run after 3 hours from closed date. Okay, so what we will do, we'll define here, like select on which date field you want to take this difference. So I'm just selecting it close date, and how many hours, so 3 hours, but we'll mention hours here, hours after or before. So we can just notify someone like hours after, 3 hours after of the close date, and we can perform the action. So what we can do, we can send an email. So I'm just taking a simple example over here, that I want to notify someone that this particular opportunity is closed. So I'll just send an email for closed opportunity. Okay, we can add the description in detail if you want to add it. And here we can add some, like variable, we can define variable and we can add it, or we can just type the message over here. Okay, opportunity is successfully closed. Okay, and subject, just we'll mention closed won opportunity. And we can define the email addresses over here. So either we have a collection, so collection is like multiple email IDs, or we can just define the manually over here, like test@test.com, and we can just make a comma, and we can define multiple email IDs over here. Okay, so for now I'm just doing with this only basic thing. You can just explore it more later when you get time. And when I select, try to attach it with this start section, so it will ask me whether you want to run it immediately or run after 3 hours from the close date. So I'm just selecting it, run after 3 hours from the close date. Okay. Now, still we have one more path, which is immediate. We want to perform that operation immediately. So as per our requirement, we just want to update account with the industry from the opportunity. So what we have to do, first we have to fetch all the opportunities. Opportunities attached with account ID. Okay, so what I will do, I'll again select opportunity over here, and I will mention account ID, which is equal to record. As I mentioned last time, we have this record, and from this record, we can select account ID. So that particular record's account ID. And for that account ID, we'll be fetching all the opportunities. And if you want to sort it on some basis, or we can add more conditions. So I'm just adding one more condition over here, stage name. Stage name must be closed won. We'll be selecting only closed won. Okay, and so here we want to fetch all the records which are having stage as closed won and attached to this account ID. So I am just selecting all records and automatically store all fields. So I am not using these two sections as of now. but you can use it, choose fields, and let Salesforce do the rest. So you can select the fields, like which fields you want to, if you want to select only 4 fields or 5 fields, you can do that. And the second is, if you want to do some, like you want to create a new record collection on your own and you just want to do some specific on that, that also can be done. But for now, okay, so I'm just using this automatically store all the fields, and I'm just connecting with it. So by default, since we have already selected this option, so it will just run immediately just after it. Okay, so here we are fetching all the opportunities. So it can be 5 opportunities or 10 opportunities. So to process all the opportunities, we have to use loop. All opportunities. Okay, and when we try to see the selection, this variable, so if you see record collection variable, there is only one record collection variable, which is opportunities from fetch all opportunities. So we'll just select it, and we can define like whether you want to run it from top to bottom or bottom to top. And this is a just a notification, because before last to last release, actually we have to define one variable to process all the opportunities one by one. But now what they have done, if your variable is this fetch all opportunities, then it will just add current item from, and then this fetch all opportunities. So whenever you will try to get the values of a specific record, you will have automatically current item from. So you just have to select that variable to use the values. Okay, so I'm just connecting it with the get records. Now we have to assign some variable. Okay, so before that, what I will do, I'll just create a new resource, which is a variable, and its name is account industry. Okay, because we'll be updating industry on account level, and its type I will define as text, and I'll just leave other variables as other properties as it is, and just done. Okay, so I just created a new resource. Now I have to assign. So what I have to do, I have to update account industry. Okay, and the account industry will be account industry, and I am not equating it, I am just adding. So it will concatenate. So what I will do, I'll just search item, current item from. So if you see current item from loop process, and from that item, what will fetch industry, this industry. So what I will do, I'll just add this industry to the account industry field variable, and I'll just add one more thing to it. So just after that, I'll just add spaces. So what will happen, we'll have all the industries with the spaces. So we'll be able to differentiate between different type of industries, or you can make it as comma and space. So for now, I'm just adding the spaces after it. And I will just have to connect with this. So for each item in the collection, so there are two options for each item in the collection or after the last item. So for now, I'm just selecting for each item in the collection. Okay, so then if you want to perform some operation, you can add here. Otherwise, what we can do, we can just connect it with again with it, because we have to complete this loop. So since this is a loop, so first it will go to this, and then again it have to come back to this loop. So make sure every time whenever you use loop, it should be the completed one. Means it should start from this loop element and it should end on this loop element. Otherwise, you will not get any results. Okay, so after the loop completion, what we have to do, we just have to update the account. Okay, so I'm just adding update account industry. Okay, this name is already there with OPP industry. Okay, so we'll just do with the specific conditions because we just want to update account which are connected with. So we'll just update only with the ID from the record variable. We'll search for the account ID. So one more thing I just want to tell you, if you notice here we have this arrow. So the difference between these two account ID and this one is if you want to fetch some information from account record, so that you can do here, but you just make sure that you will select the correct account ID. So this is not the account ID, it's record because it is having this arrow key with it. So I'm just selecting this account ID and I just want to update industry. So this opportunity industry should be updated with account industry. This variable we just created for this flow. So I'm just updating it with it. And if I connect with it, so you can see after last item. So when it will complete all the loops, it will just come here and update the account industry. Okay, so this is all about this particular flow and I'm just saving it. So update account industry. And similarly here also that particular option is not available and we just have to save it. Okay, so one more point, and then you just have to activate it. So again, similarly, this run and debug will not work here. And one more point which I missed to tell you guys. So what happens whenever we use this particular run after 3 hours, like this scheduled action. So what we have to do, we just have to go to the setup. And here you have to make sure that in process automation settings. So you just have to go to this process automation settings and make sure that default workflow user is selected, because if you are creating a new org, it may not be selected. So you just have to select it and make sure it should not be blank. Otherwise, it will give an error. So you have to select it. And one more thing which is related to screen flow, but I just want to let you know because we are already here and we are discussing. So let admin debug flows as other users. So if you know, like in our org, sometime happens like a specific user is facing some issue, and we want to debug that. For this particular feature is only for screen flows. So if there is like that flow is running in the user mode and a specific user is getting some error or some issues, so what you can do, you can activate this particular flag, which is let admin debug flows as other users. So then whenever you go and debug that particular flow, you can select by which user you want to run that particular flow, and you can just save it. Okay, so make sure this is related to the screen flow, because if you remember, we cannot debug this record trigger flows. Okay, so so this is all about it. I'm just showing you on like how it runs. So I'm just going to this particular one of the account. And here we have three opportunities. And this particular opportunity is on the negotiation. So what I will do, I'll just go here, and it already have industries. So what I will do, I'll just close it and update it as closed won. And once we'll save it, and if we go to the account details, so here you can see we have like three opportunities, and for all three opportunities, the different industries can be accumulated, and those are displayed here, like apparel, education, and communications. So this particular account is having three opportunities which we already won, and those are related to apparel, education, and communications. Okay, so this way you can perform like any operation on any related account or related any other object with this after the record is saved. And at the same time, you can just define some specific like if you want to send email or if you want to update something on chatter group after some time or before a specific closing, like you want to intimate someone, so that also can be done with this scheduled path. So this is a new feature which was added last week in the last release only. Okay. Okay, so that's all about it. Vishal, are you there?
Yes, Ankush.
So I'm done with the today's session. Now I'm just
Can we go ahead with the Q&A? Can you please
uh,
go through with the question and answer questions in the chat window? And after
sure.
that, we can
Mhm.
announce the leaderboard of
Yeah,
five peoples who are running on the top, and then
sure,
we are
sure,
able
sure,
to wrap up that.
sure. Okay, okay, okay. Let me open the chat. Okay, so this is the latest question, which is like, can we send the push notifications? So I haven't tried that part, but yeah, we can just, what you can do, you can just go and check here on the action. Let me add one more action over here, and you can see here all the options, like available options over here. If you want to add a record with the quick action, or so these are all the option: log a call or new account or new case. So any type of action, send email, submit for approval, post on the chatter. So only the limited options are available which you can perform. So you can just go through the list over here, and the specific actions can be performed which are available. So if some of the options are not available, they may come in the future, because every release, Salesforce is updating their Salesforce flows, and they are adding more features to it. Okay, so one more point over here, I just forgot that. So a record, whenever a record is deleted, you can run the flow, but it will be before the record is deleted. So before deleting record, if you want to perform some additional operation, you can do that. But if you want to do it after the record is deleted, for that purpose, you have to go with the Apex after undelete trigger or after delete trigger. So it can be only with the before record is deleted. So this is a limitation with the record is deleted one. Okay, so this one I just want to share with you, and let me go with the other questions. Yeah, we can invoke the Apex as well. The Apex will also come in the actions. So for before trigger, we cannot, because in before trigger, we only have few options like this assignment, decision, loop, and get record. So for before triggers, we cannot, but yeah, after a record is updated, we can add an action, and that action can be an Apex method. But yeah, that Apex method must be defined with the annotation as invocable. So invocable method. So that you need to make sure that Apex method can be invoked from the flow. So once it is done, then we can add an action, and we can just do some specific operation which cannot be performed here. We can do that in Apex method. Yeah, so for validation rule, as I explained in the last session, so it will not display here. It will just give an error, and for that we have to do the error handling. So otherwise, what will happen means, let's suppose I'm updating this. So so while updating it, it will just give an error, and that error also, since it will just go in your log section, so you just have to check your debug log and see like what error is coming. So yeah, this will be an error, so we have to handle the error handling. So I'll explain in the next session. In the last session, I had just given you the high level, like how we can handle the error. So you can just, if you have not attended the last session, you can go through with the YouTube video, and you can just see it. And in the next session, we'll more talk about the error handling on that part. Okay, so action. So Sumant, action means you want to update the record, or you want to send an email, or you want to just send a notification on the chatter group. So those are all called actions, or you want to create a new record, or you want to just delete some records. So these are all called actions. So and you can just go on to this action section and see like what are all the options available. Yeah, so for this debugging, and means for this one, what you have to do, you just have to activate your debug logs, and you just have to run it. Means you just have to, before running into production in the sandbox itself, you have to do perform the proper testing on it, and you just can try to create some records over here and all the permutation combination. And on the back end, you just have to activate the debug flows. So you can, sorry, debug logs, and you just have to verify the logs, whether it is failing, or it is giving some error. So better you test it thoroughly in the sandbox itself. Yeah, so it will capture in the debug log whenever the error comes in, but you have to activate the debug log with the more details, like finer you have to define for the workflows. So, okay, I think this one is clear. Can we handle recursive issues? So Mayuresh, actually what happens, like definitely you just have to test it thoroughly, and you just have to follow the execution. Let me trigger an order of execution. So since we have multiple things with us, like we have workflow rules, we have process builder, we have flows, Apex triggers. So what you have to do, you just have to follow this particular link. I will share this link. So you just have to follow these particular sequence of events. So first of all, like for example, at the point number 3, execute record trigger flow that are configured to run before the record is saved. So whenever you will use this before the record is saved, this will be executed at the very beginning, just after your all the validation will be performed. So if there is any custom validation rule, it will fail in the flows itself. But if you and you have to make sure that the before triggers, if you have before triggers and before the record is saved, then you must have to verify that it should not be recursive. So like that, you have to follow these all the steps, like what are all the sequence of the event. And similarly, the after update flows, so that will execute at the very end. So this will be executed here on the 17th number. So it will be executed after your all the triggers will, or triggers or auto launch flow or all other workflow rules will be executed. After that, your record trigger flow will be executed. So you just have to make sure about the sequence of event, and you have to test it thoroughly. So yeah, there might be recursive operations will be performed. If you have the similar operation in multiple places, means you have created before triggers and you have created flow as well with the before the record is saved. So you just have to make sure that it should not clash with logic of this before trigger. So otherwise it will be in the recursive and you just may go into some error. Okay. No, actually, this limitation is not there, means specific, because flow can be of any type, whether it can be like before trigger, after the record is saved, or before the record is saved. So if you compare these two flows, this after the record is saved, so here we are updating the another variable, sorry, another object, and here we are updating the same object contact. So still you can have, means if I want to make it on the contact object, we can do it, but what we have to make sure it should not go into the recursion. So that is the only main point which we have to test it thoroughly in the sandbox. So we can have screen flow on the contact. So we can have any number of flows. There is no such limitation over here. Yeah, so for bulkification of the flows, so this will be handled by the system itself. So let's suppose I have loaded, means through the data loader, I have uploaded thousand of opportunities. So what will happen? This particular system will handle itself, like this particular flow will run only for a record at a time. So it will be, you need not to make sure about the loops over here, but yeah, definitely if you are fetching the records, multiple records here, so you just have to make sure whenever you are using loop inside this, so inside the loop you are not updating, means you are not updating the records inside the loop, or so this bulkification is already taken care by the system itself. So we need not to, yes, obviously it will count with your CPU time limit, even with the heap size, and your other limitations, like this get records should not fetch more than 50,000 records, and it should not update more than 10,000 records. So all those limitations will still apply applicable to the flow. So yeah, definitely you have to take care about the governor limits, and it should not exceed those governor limits. Okay, so for custom action, I need to check, but it should be there. The custom actions can be performed as per my understanding. Okay. Yes, the scheduled action can be monitored. Let me check. Okay, generally, this should come under this post flow interviews, but I'm not sure why it is not coming. So I'll just check it and answer it in the next session, like how we can just monitor this scheduled actions.
Yeah, so Sumant, you can share this question in the QA sheet, and we are able to answer it in the next session. Suman, yes, Shivani. Sorry, Sumant. It's not. So Shivani, you can share this question to the QA sheet, and we are able to answer that question on the next session.
Yeah, sure.
And those whose question won't be answered till yet, I would really request you to please share your questions in the QA sheet, QA Excel sheet, which we shared the link to you, so that you can get the answer after the session. And now we are running over time, so I
Okay.
think we are good to wrap up the session.
Okay,
So
so we shall just a few minutes. I'm just completing my
yeah,
slides.
yeah,
So in the next session, we'll be discussing about schedule flow. So it will be on next Sunday, 11 a.m. And you can just RSVP on this particular link. So this will be the agenda. Like we'll be discussing for the assignment 2 demo, and then we'll be just giving a demo on the schedule flow. And after that, we'll be having fourth session will be on the auto launch flow, and it will be on March 7th, Sunday, again, 11 a.m. And similarly, we'll first discuss about assignment 3, and then we'll just go with the demo. Okay, and then assignment for this particular current session. So
yeah. I am just
this
going
is,
to share the link.
yeah. So Vishal is going to share the link with all you guys, and you just save that particular link. And this is an assignment sheet over here. So whosoever new attendees, whosoever not participated in the assignment one, so they just have to create a new dev org. So it will not clash with your existing org. So just to get it in the separate org. So you just have to create it, the sign up with the new org, just change the password and note down it, the username password, and then install this particular package. So you can just copy this link and just install it, and just log in with the username password which you just created. So existing users, they have already existing attendees which already participated in the last assignment, so they have already done with the first three. So they just have to go and add records in the fuel and premier rule. So you just add records on your based on your understanding. So when you go and test those particular assignments, you will able to see some results. Okay, so actually this particular assignment is having two parts. First one is for before save on the transaction object. So what will happen if customer is premier? So we have a flag on the customer object. So if customer is premier, then the search for a valid premier rule and provide the discount on that particular transaction. So and update the values accordingly. Okay, so this is the first part. It should be before save. And after save, what you have to do, fetch all the transaction records from customer in last 1 month, and sum of total of all the transactions, and compare it with the premier rule. So premier rule will have some threshold value, and based on that threshold value, you have to update customer with the premier flag. Okay, so this is a schema. So like we have customer transactions, premier rule, and fuel. Okay, so you can just refer this schema if you find any difficulty in the what is the relation between all these. And these are the two assignments which you can just try on it. Otherwise, in the next session, we'll just explain you like how to create it and how to test it. So yeah, that's all from my side, Vishal.
Okay. Mayank, you are asking for assignment one. So you can do one thing. You can email us with your email ID, and we are able to provide you the assignment one link on your email. That would
Yeah.
be great.
Okay, so I'm just left with the top
Yeah,
performer of the assignment one. So these are the top performer of assignment one, which performed very well. They have means created almost all whatever we have expected. So the first is Shalin, and the second is Jyotima, third is Sumant, and fourth is Dheeraj, and fifth is Khot Mohammed. Sorry guys if I taken wrong name. So yeah, congratulations to all of them. You just keep this up in the next assignments as well, because you already done a very good job in assignment one. So if you will perform in the similar manner in the next assignment, so you may be the first top two and get the certification voucher. And who have not joined in the assignment one, still they can just go with the assignment two, and they may also try to achieve these two particular parts, and they may also be in the next assignment, they may be in the top performers. So yeah, you just try to work on it. And our main motive is like learning for you. So if you learn this, you will be ahead with your colleagues, and so it's just for your benefit. So you just try it, and it will be a good brainstorming for you guys. And if you achieve these two parts, and then hopefully you will be able to perform any requirement whenever it comes for the record trigger flows. So yeah, that's all from my side. Vishal, you can proceed with the rest of the things.
yeah. Thank you so much, Ankush, for such an amazing session. So, guys, I know a few of all your questions are won't be answered till yet. So, I would really urge you to please share your questions in the Q&A sheet link. We have provided you the sheet link. So, if you are facing any issue with the opening of any of the link while opening the any link, so please let us know, and we will wait for 2 or 3 more minutes. So, if you are facing any more problem regarding while opening any document, while clicking and viewing any document, just let us know. So we are with us for 2 or 3 more minutes, and if we don't get any questions in the chat window, then we are great, then we are good to wrap up the session.
Yeah, and I just want to add one more point here. So you just make sure that you just updated the this details on these two links. So where we are just requesting you to provide the org details. So what happened last time in the assignment one also, like some of the users, we are not able to access their org, so we could not able to evaluate them. So just request all of the guys who are participating, just update on these two links which provided by the Vishal. So and just go through the rules one more time. So because we have a limitation, like every time a new user means from the new system you try to log into your org, will get the passcode. So you just have to whitelist the IPs. So it is mentioned in the docs as well. And if you find any difficulty, you can just drop us an email. Yeah, so that's all from my side.